board on the items and subjects listed as follows. Items listed on this agenda may be taken in an order other than shown on this agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within the consent agenda will be acted on at one time. The regular business portion of the meeting for the public, beginning with agenda item number 3, will begin approximately at 6 p.m. And now to items number 2, we shall recess into closed session. The Board of Trustees may go into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. 2A, Human Resource Recommendations for School Year 2014-15. 2B, Human Resource Employee Resignations for School Year 2014-15. 2C, Pending and or potential litigation. For 2C1, Civil Action Number 713-CV-00093, Brinston versus McAllen Independent School District et al. And 2D, possible real estate action. And now at 5:03, we will go into closed session. Good afternoon.
Every 3 hours.
We will now reconvene in open session at 6:03 p.m. and we'd like to welcome our audience members in the meeting room today, as well as those watching over their computers or mobile devices. And we'd also like to wish everybody a wonderful first day of school. Welcome back for both our teachers and our students. And now we will move to item 4, invocation, which will be led by Trustee Vela.
Please stand. Remove your hats. Thank you. Dear God, we have come together in your name to work for the good of our schools. Stay with us your invisible presence and pour your spirit upon us. Make us use your gifts in a spirit of trust and guidance and a spirit of prudence and understanding, so that the children of our district may experience an abundance of learning, compassion, and peace. Let harmony reign among us, and let us keep our eyes ever fixed on you. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And now item 5, the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge will be led by Trustee Ball.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item 6, recognition and proclamations. A, recognition of the McAllen ISD and the business office by the Government Finance Officer Association. Ms. Lopez.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening
Good
to the
evening.
board and the audience. The Government Finance Officers Association awarded the district the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the submittal of the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2013. We do have several staff members that are essential and critical to receiving this award, and we will recognize them, starting with Cynthia Richards, our Chief Financial Officer. Cindy? All right. We have Janie Brooks, our budget specialist. Rosie Diaz, our budget specialist. Debbie Shelf, our secretary to the Chief Financial Officer. Hector Gloria, our director of accounting. Ashley Jaime, our staff accountant. Dayanira Farias, our staff accountant. Sandra Pulido, our lead accounting clerk. Not in attendance this evening, Elizabeth Barrera, also an accounting clerk. Isabel Contreras, our accounting clerk. Rosalba Gandarillas, another accounting clerk. Mary Lopez is here, our accounting clerk. And Alma Peña is an accounting clerk. And That was our accounting department, our payroll department, and today's a happy day because it's payday today. And so, and we get very few calls, so they're doing a great job too. Zero. That's pretty, that is pretty awesome. Oscar Trigo is our director of payroll. He is out ill, so isn't able to attend. Lázaro Ramos Jr., our payroll staff accountant. Teresa Casares, our lead payroll clerk. Elizabeth Becerra, our payroll clerk. Lucinda Haragui is not in attendance. Margot Ochoa is our payroll clerk. Anita Solis, our payroll clerk. And Belinda Solis, payroll clerk. And I guess, again, just to restate, it is a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. It is presented by the Government Finance Officers Association. This is the 4th year that the district has received it, so thank you very much, staff. It is for our comprehensive annual financial report. Obviously, we undergo audit, and the external auditors are involved with reviewing what staff prepares. There's only 69 districts throughout the state, and when you're talking about, and I say 69, it should be a fixed number, I looked that up. 69, when you're talking about over 1,025 public ISDs or independent school districts, it's pretty impressive. So thank you very much. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else I was going to add. But another key thing is, of course, all these folks are involved with processing $255 million worth of transactions in that fiscal year, 2013. So thank you very much. Cindy, if you want to add anything that I may have forgotten.
No, just that we've got a wonderful staff. I always tell them it takes a village, and it really does, because it's everybody's effort that helps put this all together. And everything we do is so that we can report financially and be fiscally responsible. And this team does it. And I'm really
recognized for your hard work. Thank you very much.
Okay, you guys want to step down? Everybody can step down all the way. Ashley, I can't see you. All right, everybody's gonna have to squeeze in just a little bit more toward the center. Okay. Everybody stand. I still can't see you, Ashley. Okay. Do you want to switch with? Okay, now I can. And no, I can't see you. Next, actually. You want to come to the end, Sandra? Can you switch with her? Yeah. I think you're taller. Okay. Yes.
It just has to be perfect.
Well, it's either I don't see their face or I do.
Well, now we
Did that work?
Yes, it did. If you just scoot it a little bit, Miss Hunter, please. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. All right. Everybody stand up nice and tall and smile. 1, 2, 3. One more time. And smile. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Enjoy your year.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, and now we'll move on to item 7 for the superintendent's report.
Yeah, we have a couple of things I'd like to welcome and ask Mr. Bill Rutherford to come to the podium. He's going to make a special presentation. Bill is a native of West Texas. He grew up in Odessa, where he attended Ector County ISD schools. His degrees are from Howard Payne University, University of Texas Permian Basin, and Texas Tech University. He is a lifelong educator and started his teaching in Bangs ISD in 1976 as a one-person social studies department. He also taught at Odessa High School and Odessa College. Since 2006, he has been employed by the Texas Association of School Boards in Austin as the senior consultant in the governance division. In that capacity, he is also program manager of Leadership TASB. When not working with school boards, Texas school boards, he enjoys UT football games and tailgating, weekend trips to Rockport, discovering new Texas barbecue joints, and talking to all who will listen about the fun of being a grandfather. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you very much for telling my life story. Mr. Superintendent, Madam President, it's my pleasure to be here and bring to you, first of all, greetings on behalf of the Texas Association of School Boards, and also a recognition to one of your colleagues. So, Sam, would you please come join me here? This is somewhat of an oddly placed recognition. Most of us in this room, with the exception of me anyway, am concerned about the start of the school year and what all happened and all the excitement of the beginning of the year. My point with you tonight, and I'll make it brief, is to bring recognition on something that happened past tense. As you know, one of your colleagues, Sam, was part of the Leadership TASB class, and about a year ago in September began his pilgrimage through Leadership TASB. And I'll point out that throughout the year, not one time did your colleague miss a session. Not one time did your colleague show up late for a session. Not one time did your colleague fail to do the very best he could do on an assignment that we have. And there are many of those throughout the course of the year in Leadership TASB. And lo and behold, we get to graduation. It's the culminating experience in June. The class has become very, very close as school board members from all across the state of Texas. They have a major research project that's due in June. They present their research findings to a juried panel. The panel votes as to whether or not their research rises to the level that's worthy. Sam's group obviously did, because you know Sam better than I do. You know he wouldn't do anything other than that. And lo and behold, we get to graduation night and Sam is called away. First time ever he has to miss. First time ever he has to be late. And he misses this culminating experience. So therefore, Sam, with great pleasure, I finally bring to you your diploma that has been from Austin, Texas to Fort Worth, Texas, back to Austin, Texas, and now down to McAllen, Texas. Congratulations on your accomplishment. I also have your pin for lifetime membership, as well as your notification of lifetime membership in the Alumni Association. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Bill, can we grab a picture with you first?
I should know that. I saw the earlier group. We didn't have a karaoke machine at graduation. I didn't bring that tonight.
No, and I was practicing, so.
You will take one first, and if you can.
You should have seen your colleagues.
Yeah, and then just
She's a perfectionist.
All right. That looks very nice. And then maybe tilt the thing so we can flare. All right.
Nothing.
Okay. And everybody go ahead and smile. 1, 2. Wait a minute, just a second. Can you move on just a bit? And there you go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Just one more. And smile. 1, 2, 3.
Can I take one with my wife and daughter?
Yes, yes.
I was gone a lot, and
Uh-huh.
and she took care of everything, she always does, and helped me with my homework too.
Yes, there was.
Practically, yeah. Wonderful.
That works very nice.
There you go.
And smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, everybody goes through all over. I'm glad you're here. Thank
Thank you. Why are you sharing?
Vegas.
Thank you.
A couple of other items that we'd like to touch on as we round out the superintendent's report, and we're going to turn it over to Mrs. De La Garza to talk about the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Thank you, Dr. Ponce. Lou Gehrig's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord. When the motor neurons that control muscles throughout the body die, the ability of the brain to initiate and control muscle movement is lost. With voluntary muscle action progressively affected, patients in the later stages of the disease may become totally paralyzed. As I'm sure you probably have heard, a movement to raise funds for ALS recently took the form of an ice bucket challenge, a kind of frigid awakening to the impact of ALS and the need for awareness and assistance. On Friday, McAllen ISD Board of Trustees and Superintendent opted to assist in this worthy cause. Not that one.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. Rosie Larson, Principal of Memorial High School. We accept your ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and our Board of 8 now challenges, in the true Partners in Excellence fashion, the STC Board of Directors, Dr. Guy Bailey from UTRGV, and Susan Valverde from Sylvan Learning Center. You got 24 hours. Keep us posted.
Good times.
Thank you. Also, on the first day of school, went exceedingly well. As you visited campuses, also I was able to see, you can also see the postings on Facebook. Staff, parents, students posted photographs throughout the day. The first day of school is always exciting for everyone, especially for some reason everyone's excited about it. And despite if you're old, new to school, veteran, new to teaching, doesn't matter. It's just an excitement about it. It's a great day to walk around, especially on that day. I have a couple of specifics I'd like to report. Central office administrators were assigned to each of the campuses to make certain school staff had immediate assistance available to them if they needed it, and things reportedly there went very smoothly. Thanks to HR and all involved, we only have 5 teacher vacancies at this time, but we're working diligently to make sure that we get those filled as ASAP. Secondary students were on time and moved on to their first period classes as soon as the bell rang. Very few students were waiting on their schedules, and mostly that was limited to students who had either lost their schedules or were new to the campus. And that's something that commend all the schools, really, that we want to get students into their classrooms as soon as possible, so that went very smoothly. Also at the elementary campuses, for the most part, the hallways were very clear quickly. That's a little bit easier there in elementary, but very few parents needed to finalize their enrollment process, and all were being assisted at the campus level. So just know also that you still will have assistance. Make sure you get there. We'll help you all we can. We want to make sure that your child is in classes. Operations and support systems also went very smoothly. We had anticipated traffic delays around 2 campuses, Jackson Elementary and Lincoln Middle School, because of the scheduled construction. They were working on the drainage there. We will continue to monitor these areas. Traffic at Rowe a little bit backed up, but we were able to work that out also. We will have officers assigned to this area in order to continue monitoring the situation. At all our campuses, at all the other campuses, traffic reportedly went very smoothly. There was a little congestion and drop-offs, but they were quickly cleared. As you know, that's kind of a rough time. Everybody wants to be there. We actually also have more parents dropping off than usual. As time goes on, less and less parents actually drop off, let kids walk to school. So just have a little patience with us. Know that we're out there in force. I see Chief in the audience there, but we're also there, the City of McAllen PD, but our PD is out there also making sure that we have kids in a safe area, bringing the awareness also, knowing that out there school has started. I know you drive cautiously in McAllen, but just a little bit more cautious as you're driving around. As you say, it was a great day, a lot of great things happening, a lot of people very excited. And here's a brief video that captures some of our day's experiences.
Excited for the first day of school? Yeah? Do you remember your teacher's name?
Miss Flores.
Okay. Ruby 110. Have a great day.
Have a good day, guys.
Well, we feel great on the first day of school. We're very excited for a great year. We've done a lot of preparations here at Fields Elementary, and we're welcoming parents, and we're very excited. Teachers have worked very hard to prepare for this day, and so we're looking forward to a great year.
Excited. See what the year brings. Okay, ready?
You ready? Yes. Okay, good. Buenos días. ¿Todo bien, verdad? Sí, pásale, pásale. Good morning. Have a great day. Good morning, sweetheart.
Michael está con Miss García, era de Gutiérrez el año pasado.
Thank you.
Let's go eat your breakfast. Look at this sheet of paper. First thing is your name, Mariana. My name is. So you'll put your first and your last name.
Well, we're excited because we're officially now an IB World School, and so we're glad to have our children coming in as IB scholars, and we're excited about our first day. All our systems are in place, and we know that the kids are going to enjoy their first day of school. My staff is fabulous. Everything is in place, so we expect a very smooth day today.
What's up, Mom? How you doing? Good? Awesome. We're ready. We're ready to go. We've been waiting all summer long, and we're glad to have the kids back today.
Pues es algo emocionante traer a los niños, ya que sabemos que para ellos es una buena oportunidad de compartir con sus maestros y que ellos aprendan. Eso es bien importante para nosotros como padres.
Very excited to nurture and strengthen our IB scholars. We look forward to embracing our IB program and our TLC3 CUBE initiative, and we look forward to working with our students and building relationships.
Everybody's so excited, we're so energetic, we're so ready to start the new year.
We would like each child that walks into our building to feel welcome, to feel the love and the compassion that each teacher has for each one.
Welcome to my class. Caitlin, are you ready for the new year? Awesome.
I really love going to school every time.
Hey, okay? And she's in good hands, okay?
Para que no se nos vaya a olvidar, el superhéroe de la clase.
Hi, my name is Ortega. This is my second year here at Garza. I met most of you on Thursday night. What I want to do is I want them to go next to you, and you tell me your name, and you tell me your favorite thing to do, okay? Jesse, what's your favorite color, Jesse? Blue, okay. How about over here? Miguel, tell me something, Miguel. So what's your favorite game? Minecraft, okay. Over here we have
Thank you, Dr. Ponce.
Yeah, besides the smiling faces and the welcoming environment, I think you see some examples of the breakfast in the classroom. Just want to remind all the parents out there that we do have free breakfast and free lunch. So let's just take a burden off and know that you have a nutritious breakfast waiting for you at school, and also that nutritious lunch also. So campus has had a very successful first day of school. Teachers and principals were very positive on how smoothly everything was going. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank students, parents, and staff for everything they did to make this a great first day for what promises to be an even better school year. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We will now recess at 6:30 and reconvene into our regular 5 p.m. meeting on to item 8 for district reports. A, report regarding back-to-school fair. Ms. Arcaute?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good
Mrs.
evening.
De La Garza, Dr. Ponce, and board members. As you saw, our first day went very well. Then 2 weeks ago, approximately 2 weeks ago, we started this process of inviting our parents and our students back with our 3rd annual back-to-school fair. And we'll share a little video with you about that fair. It was a tremendous success. We had several thousand parents and students present, and so I'll give you some additional information on that right after we see the video.
Thank you guys here from the city of McAllen. I know the McAllen
ISD, there was quite a bit of excitement throughout the whole process. We had many vendors that were there with us, helping our students and providing them with a lot of extra materials. But more importantly, it was our asking the parents to join us and be able to come to us, for them to be able to receive materials and supplies from us and to the city, as you will see. The partnership this year, as has been with the past, was with the district and our City of McAllen Police Department. And joining us in partnership was Walgreens, Doctors Hospital Renaissance, and this year we had an additional sponsor, which was Telemundo. I think that's one of the reasons we had such a large turnout. Telemundo did an awesome job, as well as our other media, in televising and announcing this back-to-school fair. And here you can see the line started forming very early in the day. By the time our staff was setting up at about 10 o'clock, we already had lines waiting, and they continued all through. Very patient. We didn't have any issues. You know, parents were just very patient. But as you can see, lots of children. As you saw in the video, you know, some businesses had little games for the children to play. But we did everything from haircuts to immunizations. And of course, our campuses were represented, as well as our instructional services department and other departments from district operations and also the business, and just trying to make parents aware of all the resources that are available, from college awareness to other community partners distributing school supplies as they walked around. And as you saw with the video, Telemundo also had a few games for the kids to play, and they were also winning additional school supplies. And what you see here is both Telemundo and the City of McAllen PD. They were very instrumental in helping us in the process of awarding or giving all our students the products. And the haircut was a very busy place. I really need to applaud that organization. They were on their feet the entire 3.5 hours, just cutting one haircut after another. It just seems it was a lot more than 100, which I'm showing here. It just seemed that I never looked over there and never saw an empty chair. But the staff was very good with our kids, and you could see the kids walking away really excited about their haircuts. We also had an additional, immunizations are things that we always offer. We have businesses that come in and help that with parents. But this year we added physicals. So you see we had about 27 students that were able to get their physicals for their school activities right there. And then Doctors Hospital had 3 doctors on call with us, and we were able to take care of that also. And then again, you saw the different campuses. These are just additional pictures of the campuses distributing information and giving away books, pencils, anything that had to do with school. And this is just a comparison of the last 2 years. We said this is our 3rd year. If you'll notice the first piece of the slide, we had a lot of adults that came. Many of them, it was both parents, sometimes it was the grandparents. It was very good to see them all involved and very excited about their kids coming back to school. We had approximately 661 families that came through our doors from within the McAllen Independent School District, and that came out to about 1,791 students. And we hope that we were able to count all of them. And as I said, a lot of adults coming through. But it's a big increase from last year. The number of exhibitors also increased this year, and staff that was there. And then we're also sharing with you, we did have students and families that came from outside of McAllen. That was something that our city encouraged, that they wanted to come. Chief Rodriguez invited them all, and we went ahead and kept count of how many other individuals came through. Overall, by the time we took our last tally through our turnstile, we had approximately 5,465 individuals go through our turnstile. And that was not counting the ones who couldn't go through there because they had strollers. They came in through a different door. So that line was moving quickly. We were already debriefed on how we want to do some different things next year to make it even go a little bit quicker as they're coming in. We were very cognizant of the fact that it was very hot outside. But they were very excited about coming in. And one of the things that we ask our parents to do, because we're trying to encourage them to become more aware of resources and things that are available for them and their students, is that we ask them to visit at least 5 booths before they move into the line of picking up the materials. And the idea is there to let them know that there are other resources available, be able to have at least a short conversation with whoever is on the other side of that booth. This year, One of the other booths that was very different from last year, you recall earlier, we've talked to you about our partnership with the different hospitals, and Rio Grande Hospital was there offering both asthma screenings and diabetes for our families, and that was another one that always had a line. So we're very helpful to them, very thankful to them, because very often those go undetected with our early childhood children. They always just seem to be another illness that they have, but this will also help our nurses in providing them with the care they need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Apicarte. I think the whole board agrees that staff did a great job on this, and getting the information out to our community was excellent. So congrats and kudos definitely from us. So we'll now move on to item 9, action on items in closed session. A, approval of human resource recommendations for school year 2014-15. This is for action tonight.
Well, Ms. Lopez?
Yes, ma'am. We have secondary and elementary teacher recommendations and non-teaching professionals this evening.
Move to accept a recommendation from administration.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Saldivar and a second by trustee DeShazo. Any questions or comments from the board? Move for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item passes 7-0. We'll now move on to item 9B, human resource employee resignations for school year 2014-15 is for your information only. Items 9C, pending or potential litigation. Mr. Crane?
There's nothing to report in open session.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. Items 9D, also possible real estate acquisition.
No action at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. Now we'll move to consent agenda items 10A through W, also for action tonight. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Aliseda and a second by trustee Saldivar. Any comments or questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Items pass 7-0. We'll now move to items 11A. Approval and adoption for the resolutions of the 2014 school tax rate. Ms. Lopez?
Yes, ma'am. The Truth in Taxation Guide that helps us to set our tax rates does require that our district approve the school tax rate for each fiscal year. The district met the laws by publishing, or the Truth in Taxation laws, by publishing the notice of the public meeting to discuss budget and proposed tax rate on June 11, 2014, and by holding a public hearing on June 23rd. In terms of budgetary considerations, we did have Mr. Verial, our tax assessor collector for Hidalgo County, assist us with calculating the effective tax rate 2014 and the rollback tax rate. The district's fiscal year 2014-2015 budget was planned using a tax rate of $1.16.50 per $100 of valuation. The tax rate for maintenance and operations is $1.04. This will be the 8th year at $1.04, and the debt service tax rate at 12.5 cents, and this will be the 6th year on that tax rate. We do ask, the resolution is attached there for the board's review. We do ask that the board action include the language, the adoption of the resolution. It must be in the following form, and the language is listed there at the bottom of the board agenda report.
Okay, this is for action tonight, and the motion is posted there.
Madam President, I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of $1.16.50, which is effectively a 0.82% increase in the tax rate.
I have a motion by trustee Saldivar and a second by trustee Vela. Any questions or comments from the board?
One question, Ms. Lopez.
Yes, sir.
The way we have it motioned, by saying that it's a 0.82, what does that really in effect happens to the taxpayer?
It's all based on their actual property value, and really what that difference is, the 0.82% increase is looking more at the 2014 effective tax rate versus the rollback tax rate. But in essence, as a district, we are not increasing our tax rate per 100 evaluation. That is $1.16.5, and it has been in place for 6 years now, total.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? We'll now move for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item passes 7-0. Now move to item 11B, approval of the McAllen Independent School District July budget amendment for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2014 and ending June 30th, 2015. Ms. Lopez?
Yes, ma'am. On this item, I did go into a little more detail a couple of weeks ago. It is an adjustment, an increase in revenues of just over $18,000 and an increase in expenditures of just over $38,000. They are listed there for the board's review. And that is, there's only one page and it only affects the general fund for revenues and expenditures.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. This item is also for approval tonight.
I move that we approve this, so recommended by administration.
I have a motion by Trustee Saldivar and a second by Trustee Viola. Any questions or comments from the board? Move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? Same sign. Item passes 7-0. We'll now move to items 12, items not included on August 11, 2014 briefing meeting agenda. A, approval of sole source purchase Read 180 to next generation version technical support, instructional resources and professional development from Scholastic Incorporated. Ms. Arcaute?
Yes, ma'am. This program is a program that we have been utilizing at both elementary, middle, and high school campuses as a supplement to help our students who are struggling with reading in particular. It is a web-based program that they can utilize during the day as an extension to their reading program to help them improve not only within the classwork but also helps them move on and develop their skills. There is a little bit of an increase from the previous expenditure, and that it just has to do with us purchasing additional e-books and additional books for the program for the child to have not only in the classroom but also to have the availability to be able to place them on their devices and take them home.
Thank you, Ms. Arcaute. This is also for approval tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve.
Second. We have a motion by Trustee Vela and a second by Trustee Aliseda. Any questions or comments from the board?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Trustee
Ms.
DeShaza?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Arcaute, we've used Read 180 for quite some time, haven't we?
Yes, ma'am, we have. And we've seen the successes with the children. We look for, at a minimum, a 1 year's growth, depending on where the child comes in. Primarily, the Read 180 is addressing the reading needs of our 3rd through 5th grade at elementary and, of course, all the way through high school. For the earlier ages, prior to 3rd grade, we also have another system that we call System 44, and that is more for the child who is struggling with decoding, etc. So we have a resource for, depending on what the child may need, in addition to the at-risk assistance and the interventions that we have at the campuses.
And do they still use a teacher with the different centers? Is that how it's still done with the computers?
Yes.
And there hasn't been no change to that program at all?
No, it is still a rotation of 3 centers. The small group setting with the teacher, the student also doing independent reading, and then the program on the computer.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ms.
Yes, Trustee Esparza.
Maybe I missed it, but the increase in expenditures was due to
We're adding more books,
Okay.
both in e-book form and also in hard copy for the students to have.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? Now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item passes 7-0. Move to item 12B, approval of memorandum of understanding between McAllen ISD and Rio Grande Valley Institutions of Higher Education for the college prep mathematics and English language arts courses. Ms. Arcaute?
Yes, ma'am. This is a new memorandum of understanding. This part of our House Bill 5 requires that we provide or offer students the option to take a course while they're still in high school, with the intent being that If the student has struggled to meet the college entrance requirements, either through the new assessment that is now called the Texas Success Initiative, a TSI test, or through their SAT or ACT requirements, that they have the option to enroll in a class such as this. It'll be an English class and a math class offered at our high schools with the intent of following a curriculum that has been set by the different organizations. And let me go ahead and bring up a visual so you can see what we've done. What the state required of us was for us to partner with institutions of higher education. And in our case, it went throughout the whole valley. South Texas College, University of Texas Pan American, UT Brownsville, TSC, and Texas State College came together, and it was a joint effort between the Rio Grande Valley Focus Group and Region 1, bringing all districts together to develop these courses. So we sat through meetings and tried to look at what our students would need. So as you can see, it was a joint effort. I understand this is very unique to our valley and to our Region 1. Other region centers are working with their local agencies, but in our case, we're at a point where we have an MOU. That's not the case across the state. But the goal was really to create that opportunity for students to demonstrate college readiness through a course and an assessment. So they're not only going to be enrolled in a course, but they also must take an assessment at the end of that course, with the ultimate goal being that they would enter college and not have to take developmental courses. Right now, when a student is not college ready by definition, either because they scored high enough on an end of course exam or scored high enough through for an exemption through their SAT or ACT or the TSI, they must begin their coursework through developmental work. Enrolling in this class and passing the test at the end of this class would allow the student to be able to still enter college. There's nothing that's going to forbid a student from entering college, but this would help them avoid or skip the process of having to take developmental courses. And so it is limited to 12th grade students. One of the difficult things is that it came into effect late in the spring, and we're supposed to implement it this year. But it is for seniors only who are at this point. A little bit of the wording on the House bill refers to House Bill 5 students, which are incoming freshmen, but yet another section makes reference to us offering it this year. So as I said, the different entities worked very closely and quickly to try to develop. It is going to target students who have not taken Algebra 2 or who have scored less than a 75. In our case, we have been recommending our students to enroll in the recommended program or our Distinguished Achievement Program. But when you graduate under the recommended program, you must take Algebra 1 Geometry and Algebra 2. So 99 or 95 plus of our students are enrolled in the 3 courses already. So it's going to be addressing those students who have not taken the course. And one of the other requirements is that they must have taken Algebra 1 Geometry and pass their EOC. So when you start looking at all that criteria, it starts narrowing down which students, would need to take it. There's not as strict a requirement for the English. The English was just a matter of a child who was struggling with the language, but the math departments did require additional work to be done before the students can go in. So what we have done is we have worked very closely with our campuses, and if you recall earlier in the spring, I had talked to you about a course that we were offering, which we've been offering on our curriculum bulletin for many years, and that was a test prep course. Our course is a local requirement. This particular one for the college prep course is going to be a state elective for the student. In our case, we've offered it, and this year we had a very large turnout of students at all our high schools that enrolled in the class, and the class is specifically aimed at providing them with strategies as they take their SAT, ACT, TSI, any college entrance exam. We offer it as a semester and a full year course. I was very happy to see that all of the high schools have sections. We have well over 400 students that enrolled in it for this year. The largest number we've had in many years. So our students are really taking college entrance exams very seriously. A couple of years ago, through your approval, we also implemented that all our sophomores would be taking the SAT, And I think that has sparked an interest in students realizing what they need in order to enter college. And so we've seen an increase in our scores, but we've also realized that part of it is because we've required our students to take the test. Right now, what we are planning to do is we already have the other course in our schedules for our students, and that we have juniors and seniors taking that course. We will be looking at offering this particular course during the second semester, but also offering it this fall, either through the evening center, which we have at Lamar Academy on Tuesdays and Thursdays as a block class in the evenings, and we also have an evening center at Mac High. We realize that at times students want to take the course, but their schedule doesn't allow it, or they're involved in extracurricular activities and don't want to take time away from that. So we're looking at different formats that we're going to be able to offer it. One of the requirements from this course is that they must only pass the course with our teacher, but they must also pass the assessment that was created through the different entities. So it's not just a matter of taking the course, it's being able to pass it, and that would then allow them to enter college without having to take developmental courses if they have not met it through other means. One of the other things that we are going to be doing in order for our local institutions of higher ed to identify it through our transcripts is we will have not only a course number but also 2 letters, HB, right next to the grade to indicate that the child not only took the class and passed it but also took the assessment and passed it. But it will only be honored in our Valley institutions. This is not something that will be honored at outside the Valley. It was, again, with higher education, but each university can accept or not accept, and these are the only ones who worked with us here locally.
Thank you, Ms. Arcata. This item is also for action tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Vela.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Vela and a second by Trustee Saldivar. Any questions or comments from the board?
Yeah, Madam President.
Trustee Saldivar?
Again, on 181, those are all the institutions that are listed that will honor these course requirements that will be taken, which are University of Texas Brownsville, University of Texas Pan American, South Texas College, and South Texas Technical College.
Yes, sir.
Those are the only ones. Okay. Now, once they go into these institutions, because of taking this course of study, are they then able to transfer to any other institutions, do you know, once they've met certain requirements at these state schools?
Transferring to enroll, yes.
Okay.
That the other college may still require that they take courses, no. That would be up to the individual colleges.
Okay. But they may have a chance that if they go into, let's say, University of Texas Pan American, or soon to be RGV,
Right.
meet the requirements and meet the requirements of the state school within, that they wish to go to, they may be allowed, but some credits may or may not transfer, and
Right.
other things they may have to do.
Well, what they may, the transferring can always be there. What may not be allowed by the other institution is to accept the fact that they're not accepting the score that the student received in the college entrance exam, and may still require them to take a developmental course.
Okay.
That's the biggest difference.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Trustee Esparza?
Ms. Arcata, these courses, they'll be offered at the school, the high school, or through the?
At our high schools. The law
Okay.
requires that the course must be offered at the high school campus. It cannot be offered at the institution of higher ed.
Now, you said they'll have evening classes, so it'll be solely an evening class, or it'll be a combination of an
For
evening class?
this fall, if I do have students that want to take the course, we'll offer it in the evening. In the spring, the plan was to offer it as a class in the spring. Like I said, we have, what we also did last year, and we talked about it briefly last spring, we went ahead and designated all our high schools as TSI test centers. Before, when our students wanted to take that test, they either had to travel to University of Texas Pan American or to South Texas College to take it. We went ahead and went through the process of certifying all our campuses. So we have the staff, and we've purchased the test so our students can take it with us. We did a lot of the testing in May in preparation for starting the new school year. We did some more testing in June, and our high schools are testing already. They were testing on Saturdays, but they'll also be testing in the afternoons.
That's all that, thank you.
Thank you.
Just quick question, just probably to Mr. Crane. On the last page, some of the names have changed. Will you make the appropriate, or does it?
We'll change that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second
Now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alcalde. We'll now move to item 12C, approval of frequency reconfiguration agreement with Nextel of Texas Incorporated. Dr. Barrera?
Yes, ma'am, and good evening. This is, in 2004, the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, issued a reporting order that modified the rules governing the 800 megahertz bands of frequencies that we have, and that has a lot to do with the radio frequencies. Back then was used for the most part by our police department. The purpose of the order was to reconfigure the bandwidths to minimize harmful interference to the public safety radio communication systems. Then in April of 2013, the FCC issued a fifth report in an order which adopted a reconfigured channel plan for the 800 megahertz bands and along the U.S. border, and also to avoid any a sharing zone amongst the two countries. This applies primarily to the licensees that maintain these radio frequencies and the 800 megahertz. And licensees now have a 30-minute transition period to complete this rebanding. And this, a little history here, is the first step that we're taking first to reorganize our radio frequencies and to organize them in a way that we can bundle and expand the capabilities not only for the police department, but for also the transportation department, the child nutrition department, and the NFM&O. So by adopting this new agreement, we'll be able to leverage all of our radio frequencies, put one big package together, and have be able to leverage the use of the radio frequency with all our departments. So there we have it.
Thank you, Dr. Barrera. This item is also for approval tonight. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Aliceda and a second by trustee Vela. Any questions or comments from the board?
I have a couple of questions.
Trustee Esparza?
Dr. Barrera, I was reading through the contract. At one point, it sounds like they said they would be paying us to reconfigure, but that's not the case, right? We're paying them to reconfigure.
Actually, what we're going to do is have all of our devices assessed, and then from there they're going to come up with a figure that's going to reimburse us to pay for part of the reconfiguring fees.
Who will be reimbursed? I didn't.
Well,
Nextel.
The agreement is with Nextel.
Oh, okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Esparza. Any other questions or comments from the board? We'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item passes 7-0. Thank you, Dr. Barrera.
Thank you.
We'll now move to item 12D, 1 through 6, approval of the Board of Education meeting minutes listed on the agenda. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Aliceda and a second by trustee Saldivar. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item passes 7-0. Now move to item 13 for items pulled from briefing meeting agenda. Items 13A through L were discussed or acted or pulled on August 11th briefing meeting. So no action is needed on those. We'll move to item 14, schedule a future meeting. A through G are listed on the agenda for future meetings on September 5th, September 8th, and September 22nd. No needed reason to go into closed session. This meeting is adjourned at 7:04 p.m. Thank you, everybody.